Hey, how we doing everyone? Welcome back to another video on the epic Kawasaki ZZR1500. Now, a lot of you across the world will know this motorcycle as the ZX-14R, or ZX-14R if you live in the UK. And there's been rumours for quite a while now, a lot of you have mentioned about this motorcycle in the comments, of a ZX-15R platform, which is kind of going to be the replacement for this motorcycle right here, a bigger version of this motorcycle. And it's a topic that I've largely been trying to avoid, and in today's video we're going to discuss why that has been the case and how realistic a ZX-15 platform actually is in this day and age. So let's jump on and let's go. So as a lot of you know, I absolutely love this motorcycle and I love this platform. The only thing I wish is that it was a little bit more modern, that it had a few modern extras. If one of the refreshed models had some of the stuff like the H2SX has, which in a lot of people's eyes is the replacement for this bike, even though they are entirely different motorcycles. If they had a few of those features, wow, this motorcycle would be quite a heavy hitter and a big contender in the market to this day. Even though this platform is quite old at this point. You're looking at, gosh, blimey, almost 20 years old now, this platform, which is ridiculous. I mean, of course, in that time there has been two different generations with two different engines, but largely it has remained the same this whole time. And so a lot of viewers, a lot of you guys have been mentioning about a ZX-15R platform, and I'm not going to lie, I haven't looked into it at all whatsoever. This is just kind of like more of an impressions video of the idea of a ZX-15 platform. And of course, we're thinking that it's a platform that's going to be replacing this bike right here. Kind of like an upgraded version of this bike. And the reason why I've been avoiding this subject for years, because I have had people commenting about a ZX-15 for years now, especially because a lot of you know that I am an enthusiast about this motorcycle and that I feel like it has a lot to offer, so why not have an even bigger version of this bike? And I've been avoiding it because I don't think it's realistic. I don't think it's going to happen. And the reason why I don't think it's going to happen is because the market is shifting, the industry is shifting towards electric. Why would a manufacturer make a motorcycle with a bigger engine these days when there's kind of no point? It's a case of, well, you've got more displacement, but that extra displacement is going to create more emissions and blah blah blah, so we have to try and restrict it to make sure that it sits within emission standards. And that's exactly the issue that Suzuki had with their latest generation Hayabusa. They had to try and get that motorcycle to fit within EU stupid emission standards, and so the bike, as a result, the third generation Hayabusa, as a result, is arguably not as strong as the second generation was. And when this generation of the ZZR1500 came out in 2012, it didn't have to compete, or it didn't have to contend with those emission standards. So this engine is about as good as you're going to get on this platform. So the idea came around quite quickly after this second generation that, you know, you could have a 15 version, a 1.5 litre version of this bike. I personally would actually be more excited about a supercharged version of this bike or a turbocharged version of this bike. I mean, of course, Kawasaki clearly have got the engineering to make supercharged motorcycles, as they've been making them now for nearly 10 years in the H2 lineup. So to me that makes more sense. Even if they had a 1300 with a supercharger, I think that would just be insane. You know what I mean? But oh, is this road closed? No, surely not. This road isn't closed. Well, this is the route I had planned out today, so we'll see, I suppose. But yeah, I really don't see a 15R platform to be viable these days, as much as I'd love to see it. And I have no doubt that Kawasaki certainly had engineers working on a 15 or a 16R version. I have no doubt, because that's what Kawasaki do, you know, there's a passion project for them. So, of course, they're going to try and create bikes that are as exciting as possible, and they're going to create bikes that riders want. And of course, there is a lot of interest around the ZX-14, so you'd expect there to be a lot of interest around a ZX-15 as well. But yeah, it's difficult, because I've done a video in the past about what that platform, a future version of this motorcycle, could look like. And yeah, some of you mentioned about a supercharged or a turbocharged version, some of you mentioned about a 15, 1.5 litre. But I actually think, in my heart of hearts, wow, really? Are you kidding me? This road's closed? This can't be closed, man. This is gonna suck. But in my heart of hearts, I really don't think that this motorcycle, yeah, it is closed. Bloody hell, okay, I have to turn around. I don't think that this bike is gonna last past this generation, because it's already no longer being sold here in the UK. It's already being tabooed, these kinds of bikes, as, oh, that's why it's closed. Holy crap. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. You see all that flooding there? I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the camera, but that's a load of flooding. Okay. Fair enough. That makes sense to me. But it does kind of suck. We have had, like, rain non-stop this last week here in the UK. It's been ridiculous, the amount of rain that we've had. Yeah, I don't think that this motorcycle is going to see another generation. I don't think that this platform is going to go any further than where it is right now. Because there's just, as much as there is interest in bikes like these and the Hayabusa, unfortunately, governments don't like these kinds of bikes, even though they are ridiculously good fun and they don't really pollute that much. So, yeah, I don't know, because there's less to move, you know, there's less weight to move in a motorcycle. This is a 1.4 litre engine. And of course, you can get cars with 1.4 litre engines, but these are designed much smaller. These are designed much lighter. So, oh, I think I've missed the exit I was going to take. Oh well. Oh, I can't go down that way either, because that way is also closed. Oh, great. We're just going to end up going back the way we came. Oh, dear. All right, well, this route's going to be much longer than, than what I originally intended. Sorry about that, guys. This is quite embarrassing, really. I literally had no idea. Oh, gosh. Anyway, I get distracted. But I suppose, you know, you guys let me know what you think down in the comment section, whether or not there is a platform that still has value, or that still adds value to motorcycles, to the motorcycle industry and motorcycle culture, or if you're kind of on the similar kind of wavelength to me, where as much as we'd love to see a platform like that, it probably isn't going to happen, because there isn't a lot of motivation to build bikes like that anymore. And I'm actually really curious about how Harley Davidson is going to handle these kinds of emission standards. I mean, I suppose they can build the biggest engine they like, but they have to restrict it, and they have to restrict it heavily to fit within emission standards. Oh dear. Dog. I thought it was going to jump the fence at me. So yeah, I'll be curious how Harley Davidson kind of handle this. But I mean, Harley has been working a lot on electric, and arguably their electric offerings that they have right now, their electric range is the best on the market. The most range, the most powerful. So maybe that is where Harley Davidson are going to end up throwing a lot of their weight in the industry, is being one of the first to really kind of get electric moving forward. So, but that's the thing, guys, as where the industry is right now, where we are, where we're going to be looking in the next 15-20 years, these bikes, this is their last hurrah, and you think to yourself, wow, I mean, but these bikes have only been around for 15 years, you know, 15, 20 years, and this is it. And unfortunately, it's looking more and more likely by the day. So Kawasaki, they don't, I mean, I don't know if, I mean, they clearly haven't been able to meet emission standards here in Europe for these bikes, because otherwise they'd still be selling them right now, you know? They'd still be selling them to this day, and they're not. And that camera has died on me. Oh, God. Oh, I swear, motovlogging in the winter is just, is the most frustrating. Oh, it's so frustrating this time of year, because you just, the cameras die on you, the batteries die on you, and you're cold and miserable. Oh God, it's really difficult this time of year, guys. Well, that was cool, seeing the plane come into land. Right, let's see if these cameras are going to hold up for me now then, eh? Right, anyway, where were we? So ZX-15 platform, I don't think it's going to happen for the reasons that I've already mentioned in today's video. There is a lot of motivation to do it, because people, that's the thing, people would buy them. That's the stupid thing. People would absolutely buy those bikes, even if they were heavily restricted and blah, blah, blah. I mean, maybe that is the way forward for these bikes, is make them a little bit bigger, but lower their performance to try and keep them within emission standards as much as possible, but just upgrade everything electronically, upgrade all the tech gizmos, all the nice bits and pieces that modern riders want these days. Yeah, maybe that is a way forward for these bikes, who knows? Maybe that's the way that they can survive, but I doubt it. I really do. As much as I hate to say it, I don't think it's going to happen. And that makes me really sad, but I mean, that is the reality of the industry right now. That is the reality of motoring in general. It's not going in a it's not going the right direction for my liking, in my opinion. But that's the thing. I mean, the more we kind of talk about it, the more we put our opinions forward, and the more passion that we can kind of instill in people about what these kinds of bikes have to offer, then maybe, just maybe, motorcycle manufacturers will do something that is just totally crazy and throw caution to the wind, so to speak, and just create a motorcycle platform that they know everyone wants, but might not have that long a life, might not live for that long because of emissions. Honestly, guys and girls, I've been really struggling recently with content. I think it's this time of year. You guys know me, those of you that have been long-time subscribers of the channel, you know that I struggle this time of year, and I get really down and depressed this time of year. My wife keeps telling me, don't worry, spring is just around the corner, and I absolutely can't wait for spring, because it takes so much pressure off, and you know, going out on rides is so much more enjoyable, and I'm able to spend a lot longer out. You know, we're already getting dark, for God's sake, and it's only 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We're getting dark, and I got another video I've got to try and shoot today. It's just, honestly, it's just a nightmare this time of year, and I really struggle. So I appreciate your patience, and I appreciate that. I mean, I'm sure that a lot of people this time of year feel the same way, or very, very similar. The videos don't perform as well, anywhere near as well in January and February, just again because it's not the riding season and people aren't as interested in bikes as they would be in the spring or summer. So it is my job to try and keep that enthusiasm alive throughout the entire year if I can. So I'm really trying, guys, I'm really trying. But those are my thoughts on the ZX-15R platform, the rumoured platform. I don't think it's going to happen, and it's not one of those things that I think we'll ever. We might get a prototype or something like that, but a concept bike, so to speak. But that'll be it. I really don't see it happening. If it was going to happen, it would have happened already, in my opinion, and they wouldn't keep refreshing this motorcycle throughout the rest of the world. They would have actually done a ZX-15 by now, in my opinion. So, but look, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Let me know if I am wrong, if there's some information that you guys are privy to that I am not aware of. Maybe there's something a little bit more concrete about a ZX-15. Let me know, put it in the comment section, and yeah, I'm all ears, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm all ears, and I hope I hope that I'm wrong in this instance. I really do, but that remains to be seen, I suppose. We are in 2024 now, after all, everyone, and here in Europe it's going to be difficult the next 10 years because these bikes are not going to be a thing anymore. Well, I say that, the used market is still going to be very much alive, but whether or not I can keep this motorcycle running for the next 10 years, I hope I can, but I don't know. That's a big question mark, whether or not I can keep this motorcycle running for the next 10 years. That's going to be the challenge. I hope I can make that happen, and I hope that in 10 years time I can do a video kind of in reflection of this one, and reflection of the videos we've done in the past about this motorcycle and these topics of the future, and yeah, kind of hold up a middle finger to to governments and things. But I don't know, I hope I can make that happen as well. But thank you ever so much for joining me on today's ride. I honestly can't wait for the weather to improve so we can actually really get some proper enthusiasm going around bikes again, and yeah, really show off why they are so enjoyable and why they're so important, and why platforms like these just make my heart melt. Thanks again, take care, ride safe, and we will catch you all in the next video. Have a good one.